This is Dr. David Schein, and welcome to Business Law 101. So one of the things that we do talk about in corporations is constitutional guarantees. So keep in mind, as a corporate officer, you may have less protection than you do as a member of the community. So people need to be aware of that the constitutional guarantees are kind of flexible. So some of the things we see is validity of arrest without a warrant, the validity of search warrants, the validity of the consent by the person at the house, and the extent of protection offered in recent years. So it's a real interesting area of the law, but it is possible, and what we hear here is something called the exclusionary rule. And the exclusionary rule says that if a police officer uses illegal information to get an arrest, that illegal information can be excluded from the prosecution, and therefore the person may get to go free, even though the evidence is very suggestive. Something else is called the USA Patriot Act of 2001. This, and in fact, we have the anniversary, the 20th anniversary of 9/11 will be next September. So this next Friday will be Friday, September 11th, 19 years after the sad effects on September 11th, 2001. So in any event, Patriot Act was designed to avoid problems in the future. And in fact, many of you are familiar, if you follow the political news, the going back and forth about the FISA warrant against Trump's people and all that stuff that goes back to the summer of 2016. All of that is under the FISA warrant. That whole process is under the U.S. Patriot Act. It is not under individually, just so you're aware. Fifth Amendment, many of you know, is against self-incrimination. Also says double jeopardy. Most famous double jeopardy case is O.J. Simpson, found not guilty in the mid-1990s of murdering Nicole, his former wife, and Ron Goldman, and he could not be prosecuted. And he wrote a book called Suppose I Did It, because since he can't be prosecuted again, he could actually write that book, which is a very horrible thing. Keep in mind that businesses may not be able to invoke the Fifth Amendment. You can as an individual, but not as a business. Sixth Amendment is, many of you are familiar if you watch police dramas where they say you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed for you. That is the Sixth Amendment. You have a right to speedy trial. Most of the time, the criminal process is very slow. The attorney for the defendant agrees with the prosecutor to take more time because they need time to put their case together as well. American cases across the board pretty much have a right to jury. Here in Texas, you can get a jury for everything, including a traffic ticket. That's very unusual. Some states do not allow juries for traffic tickets. Texas does. And one of our sacred rights under the Constitution is you cannot be prosecuted without the opportunity to confront your witnesses. Eighth Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment is often used to try and avoid the death penalty. As I mentioned a minute ago, for children, you cannot have a death penalty for someone under 18 years old. Again, under the Eighth Amendment, Supreme Court said that was cruel and unusual to execute someone under 18.